Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we're going to get a look at what's inside the Tuya Knives Argon. Alright, guys. We're going to do this quick and dirty. We are going to take it all apart except for, most likely, the lock bar inserts. So, and the only reason I don't take those out, if you guys have followed along, those lock bar inserts on all of these knives are in there in such a way that it's ridiculous. And, oh, did you see the... Alright, so let me grab a different one here. What I did was I picked up a... Oh, it's called a... It's a number 2 Phillips, alright? And I put some electrical tape down on the end of it. Why did I do that? Well, Tuya is using one of these flat screwdriver pivots. If you put a regular flat screwdriver in that pivot, I don't care how easy it comes apart, you're going to mar up that pivot a little bit, and we don't want to do that, and we do want to get the knife open here before we hurt ourselves. So I just put some black tape around the end of it. That way we can get the pivot out, and pivot still looks nice and pretty, and that's what we want, right? So there we go. The other screws in this knife are T6. So as always, we have a T6 from Weehaw, and I don't know why those guys aren't sponsoring me, because I give them a lot of pub, don't I? Jeez. Somebody call them up, point them my way, because I'm all the time talking about the Weehaw drivers and showing them on there. Yeah, you guys know. But anyhow, those two screws out, and we're going to take the pocket clip off. And I may have lied to you just a little bit. We're not going to take out the screws on the other side for those sleeves, because I know that Stazza took this knife completely apart. But I do want to show you what they're doing. We have a milled in area there to go under the pocket clip. Here is our pocket clip. Very nicely cut pocket clip. And I also want to show you one thing that's going to come up in the review. This handle has been milled, circled and around the handle, and it goes down. See, we've got an angle here. So when they did this really cool, whenever you stick the pocket clip in there, instead of just saying, we'll just put a straight old whatever pocket clip in it, if I can get that pocket clip in the hole, there we go. They adjusted the pocket clip properly for the height of the scale. Now that is a beautiful thing, however it causes problems. And the way it causes problems is because once you've done that, if you're wearing anything besides some kind of fishing jeans or fishing pants or gym shorts or straight Levi's or straight denim, there's not enough ramp there to get this in your pocket. So, new knife company, growing pains as usual. They'll get it figured out, and they'll get it figured out quicker than old Mr. Browse did. It took him, I'm still not sure he's figured it out. But there you go, we just cleaned that up. And there shouldn't be a lot of cleanup in this one. There's our pivot collar, because Stazza just took it apart not too many days ago. I'm just taking it apart on camera here so that you guys will know what to do and how to get in there and how to get out. And there we go. There is our hardened steel backing washer. They're using basically the same stuff everybody else is using. And our little ceramic bearings. Looks like the same quality, probably the same brand everybody else is using. And get our back spacer out of here so you can get a look at that. That is a nice looking back spacer. Now the one thing I am going to do with this knife, it has had some use on it. Now that is a free spinning pivot. Notice no D shape, nothing to hold it in place. Anyhow, what I was saying, what I am going to do is the titanium parts and bearings and stuff. In fact, I'll just start me a little bucket here. I'm going to stick them in the parts washer. And I'm going to stick them in the parts washer because this knife has got some use on it now. And, it's a good looking knife. But this parts washer, I just did some titanium in there the other day. And I know somebody told me I should use a magnet. But I don't have a magnet over here. I appreciate the gesture and letting me know, and I will. But all I have for magnets right now are some big old plates for niobium magnets. And if I stuck one of those anywhere near this desk, it'd suck up the whole desk. It would not be pretty. And no, I'm not doing it because I'm not going to try to get all them little parts off of it. Not even for the view count. I'm not doing it. Anyhow, get the rest of that stuff in the K-cup that one of you viewers suggested too. You guys are awesome. All right, I'm going to get this knife all squared away and ready to put back together. I'll get our Vibratite on it and everything so that we can put it back together here in just a minute, right after it comes out of the parts washer. Alright guys, fresh out of the parts washer, and I want you to look at these scales now. Oh my lord. Cleans them up amazingly. Now you're going to put them in your hands, get the oils off your hands on them, and in a few days they're going to not be as bright, but man, right out of that parts washer, just look at them. And that's an ultrasonic parts washer. Some of you know that, some of you may not. But there you go, that's what happens whenever you get them really good and clean. And yeah, also look at this blade. Wow. Tuya is doing some good stuff here, guys. And I have talked to their U.S. service rep. Guess we ought to put a pivot collar on there first. What do you think? There we go. And some of the things that I whined and complained about in the review, like the free spinning pivot, the somewhat softish screws, they're not bad. They're just not what I'd like to see if the knives are going to cost 200 or so bucks. So those things are getting fixed though. Anyhow, we put this back in, we put the pivot back in. No alignment on the pivot, it just slides in there. Do be sure to get your little pivot collar in, like I forgot. And our backing washer. And we need to get our 10 weight nano oil. And I'm going to try to remember to get the 85 weight down in that detent hole that I've been forgetting. Sometimes that stuff doesn't want to come out, but we got enough in there. Now I'm going to put this bearing in with this closed side up. Open side down because we have the counter bore in the handle. And we want the closed side of that bearing in the counter bore just to keep from getting as much crap in it. I know many of you guys have heard me say that now, what, a few hundred times? And I'm going to keep saying it every time we do one of these because somebody new is going to be watching. And even though you guys that watch the majority of these or all of these, you all know it. You know, think about that guy. We want him to know it too. Or her. A little oil on that side. And I just got a message today. Some guy said, I run my ceramic bearings dry. Well, okay, that's fine. You can do that. Ceramic bearings will actually run dry. But I can tell you from an industrial standpoint, nobody does it. Why? Because just like any surface, a ceramic surface does wear. It's not some kind of super duper magic or something. And if you give it a lubricant, it doesn't wear as fast. And we're not putting a lot of lubricant on here, and we're putting that one with this bearing with the open side of the race up because the counter bore's in the handle over here. And we'll put our backing washer on top of it. And I think we're ready. Let me look. I always forget something. Yep, there we go. I almost forgot to put that little drop of 85 weight down in the detent hole. Got it. Anyhow, put this thing on there. And you guys hear me say this a lot too. I know. But these knives anymore, they just snap back together. You know, I remember just a very short time ago, a couple of years ago, if you wanted that to happen, you were going to have to, well, you couldn't do it. There weren't any knives out there within reach that would go back together that slickly. We've come so far in the CNC programming and the milling, and we've come so far in design, it's just unfreaking real. how well these things go together now. They're like, your Swiss watch, your precision piece of machinery. Not like they used to be, where they were put together good enough. Even some of the Kershaws. I haven't seen any of the 2018 Kershaws, but even some of the Kershaws from last year had really, really stepped up the game. And, and CRKT, well, they kind of have. But a bunch of these other companies are just amazing. Now, this pocket clip, make sure that you get that pocket clip down in that hole before you put the screw in there, and that hole is holding it in place, because you don't want to try to tighten it down without it being actually down in that little recess. We'll take it off and look again. See, there's a little recess there. Alignment on this type of stuff is very important, or you end up things not going together right, and you get frustrated, and then you end up sending it to the customer service guy, and whether you know it or not, the customer service guy is scratching his head and wondering what kind of person did this, because all you had to do was line it up, because he gets it 4 minutes later, it's back in the box ready to go back to you, and you're like, man, how do they do that so quick? And you're all happy, and the customer service guy's like, I guess that was an easy one, but why'd I even have to do it? Wow. Let's see. Not quite tight enough, so we need that. And like I said before, I've got that piece of black tape around that number 2 Phillips. That way we can lined up. That way we can get down in there and not mess up that flat screwdriver hole. That thing, I do agree with Nick. That thing has got a super snappy action, and man, is it beautiful now. Too bad I've already recorded a review, or you guys get to see this in all its beauty in the review. But nope, I already recorded it. Sorry. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram like this. But very, very nice knife with a very good action. Definitely a snappy action. Keep those scales clean, and man, they are just... I know, some people have complained about that, but I like what they did there. And guys, that is what's inside the Tuya Knives Argon. And appreciate you hanging out with me for a few minutes and getting a look at it. Don't forget to check out the Apex News to fill all your knife news needs. And that's where the podcasts are. You can go straight to a page over on the Apex News, and you can listen to the podcast right there. Super cool. And the show notes for the Apex News podcast are also up over there for all of you that are looking for all that linky goodness. And you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.